intelligent. I'm grateful. I'm really deeply grateful. So this is my current new history. I just started growing. No gym access. And I hardly eat 3 times a day, right? It doesn't limit the growth. So this is my fresh history, literally. Yeah. Do I take readings? Do I take readings? Let me be frank and sincere, I don't. I've tried severally to express this clearly to every person that has DM me to take a reading. I don't need anything from you. The reason why you're connecting to me is to understand that readings are not for everyone. Readings are for people that do not want to connect directly to source itself. And as someone that's connecting directly to source itself is my birthright, it honestly doesn't make any iota of sense to take a reading. Not because I feel like God cannot speak through all. Actually, I have had readings on me that I didn't even ask for. It's, that's where I'm coming from. Not just one, not just two, a number of them, like a number of people, right, saying exactly the same thing about me that don't know me. And you can tell it has to be a spirit knowing, tapping into source. But you see, because I have had a number of people saying stuff about me that I didn't even ask for. I have come to deeply see that there are different spirit readers in the sense that it is your level of perception that you use to interpret your spirit information. If you get a reading and you see someone that has been through a lot, right, your own brain would say, this person must be bitter. That's your brain telling you that the person is bitter, right? Because they have been through a lot. Is what you now use to analyze your reading. You now say, this you must be bitter. You must be. That's the thing, because you are thinking that after such experience, that person should be bitter. I'm just giving an illustration, right? So you assume that they would be bitter because they have lived through such, just because you can see it and in your own head, it only appears that this person has to be bitter, because how can they pass through that shit and not be bitter? And so I've seen in many cases where spiritual readings was entangled with the fear-based belief of the reader. And this has been a game of me uncoding the truth, because I can identify the truth in the spiritual reading. I can identify the, what do you call it, the lies in the spiritual reading, right? Because the truth is, lies will never feel good. That's just one thing. Because lies of love are on the negative side. They, by existence, do not feel. Lies of love by existence do not feel good. Sorry, I'm still booting from waking up. I just woke up and I saw light and I was like, boom. You won't believe why I just woke up. So I did this crazy experiment, right? And what was the experiment on? I decided to walk physically, you know, hand walk, like lifting stuff on the male spectrum, right? And so that was the ideal to experience doing that kind of heavy duty. And I found myself, right, jumping to the sudden request of being asked to go out in the night to make 20K per night. So I saw this in the beginning. I just was observant. Why? Because the fact that I jumped to the request, I was surprised with myself, because I don't rush things that I never planned for. I don't just suddenly go for it. And at the same time, I didn't want to feel like just because I'm not ready shouldn't mean that I'm scared to take on something sudden. This was me just trying to experiment to see myself pushing beyond boundaries, right? I was pushing beyond boundaries, literally, because the boundaries I was pushing beyond was mine. So I'm not lying to you. Like, I was seriously pushing beyond boundaries. Guess what? I got there right in the middle of the night, and the place was filled with bunch of guys that were just, there were more than 50 at most. Every look and corner, and I was like, okay, because it was a male role, right? I was very cautious. I wasn't free. Yeah. They laughed, they gisted about the ability to fuck any girl they see on the road, and it made sense to them. And I saw myself quiet. Why? Because I didn't want to say anything that would piss off a bunch of barbarians. Because as as crazy as it seems, right? I couldn't use the toilet. I couldn't change because I didn't even carry anything aside from that. Right? I couldn't walk shirtless because I wasn't comfortable. Right? Even though I look pretty hot to me. You see, if I'm trying to say I look hot to myself, it's because I know where I'm coming from. Right? So I look pretty hot to me from you know working out every day, but I didn't want to. I don't know how to. Not even I didn't want to. I've grown up not being in a particular depth of just free like that. And I was not interested to prove anything to anybody. So one thing, I couldn't use the toilet and I was walking the same walk with them. I didn't do any less work. In short, I did much more work than any of them. They're just bunch of lazy assholes. Highest all they were doing was smoking, laughing, and arguing about football that nobody sends your papa. They're not giving you any extra apart from the bet on it. I could just see how it is literally like working with a bunch of girls. Literally. Because I was the one doing all the effort. They were lazy, they didn't care, they were nonchalant, they were just anyhow, lousy, right? And then the one wants to approach you to hug to do guy shake because they think that is how everybody has growing up they have been giving guy shake. And I'm like, what audacity? Like how audacity, oh, seriously. Did I tell you I need your fucking shake? Or I want you to touch me, right? But because they touch each other like that, right? It doesn't make sense to them why I am complaining, literally. And because of that reason, sorry, 1 minute. I need to check my system. It's charging. Okay, that was it. 10 o'clock. Thinking, intelligent. So, yes, because of that reason, right? Mainly because of that reason, I couldn't see myself continuing that shit. Like it's an experiment that I knew that within me I would never go back to. Imagine doing the same hard work with a bunch of guys that in short you could see that if I now started wondering if I want to hire these people as someone like how do I make them even do the work I want them to do? Because I could see the errors, how they did the work without. In short, guess what? I even started being influencing them on how to use because they do the work without using their own brain. They're not trying to make an effort to use their initiative because they think to their own low mindset that if they're using their own brain to do the work, they're doing so much for the person and they are investing in another person's business, right? which is not a lie, but the fact that you are not using your own brain does not stop your brain from being dumb because you are not using it. You are not trying to use it. It's not going to work. Yeah, it's a muscle you have to keep building. Now it's in the brain is a muscle, just like working out. And if you don't keep using it because you think you're trying to do someone, you don't want to do someone a favor, right? The best thing for you to do is take yourself out of that position that will make your brain use, right? Not work because or make you not use your brain because you think you're doing someone a favor because you're not doing anyone a favor apart from yourself. And these guys laughed and gisted, and I was just like, with this because there was nothing interesting, nothing exciting about the shit they were saying. I was seeing everything that I didn't want to be around. So I identified the fact that I don't want to be around such vagueness. One, the work was not even that hard. It's not compared to working out. The only thing that made the work not a good idea was I was pressed to use the toilet. I couldn't use the toilet because everybody is standing to pee inside the gutter, and I don't know how to. I must clean after I pee because I hate to smell like pee at all. Like seriously, I would change over and over again just to, because I don't know why anyone should. Alright. So all those limitations of who I am, right, and the work is why I'm deeply certain that remote work is best for me because first of all, it's not like I'm not capable of working. It's just I can't work in spaces that I can't be free to even urinate just because they're a bunch of idiots. Does it make sense? No. And they're just not just a bunch of idiots. They are not educated in any sense of spirit. Not just that. It's not that God cannot use them to talk to me because right in that space, right, there was a new person that also joined like me. It was his first time there. And this is the person that was bold enough to interact with me. In short, he was kind of the one assisting me. And I was bigger than him. He felt, how do I call it, inappropriate for me to give him anything heavy to do aside assist me in tying the stuff, holding ladder. That was what I felt I could use him to do. Because if he's not holding the ladder, he can't reach the stuff. He's not even tall like that, right? He's a very brief person. But to me, it wasn't about his height. To me, it felt like that was the angel or, you know, the spirit that infinite intelligence pleased to console me. He was kind of silent and observant and just like a newbie now. We were literally almost the same. He was almost like following my lead. And guess what? People that have been there since they were following the method I was using. Like I was really a trendsetter in that place because I was using my initiatives and this made the work faster. Something that there was this big guy that thought he could do the same thing I was doing like this. And I was like, okay, now climb up the ladder. He climbed up, he's stressed out, he's stressed out. He doesn't know that every single time I climb up that ladder and I'm finding a challenge, I'm thinking of the fastest way to get that thing done. So that the next time I'm not sweating profusely because I'm sweating like a goat. My whole clothes is soaked with water. I can't take my clothes off. They are moving about shirtless with their nonsense naked body as if someone sent them a message. After a while, they saw that I did not remove my shirt. They went to go and wear their clothes back, like were copying. It's almost as if they, they wanted to copy me at all costs in that place. And I'm like, Kilo Komi, are you okay? It was crazy fun knowing that I'm a trendsetter in any space I go to. The reason why they actually copied me is because I was doing it much faster. You know, when you see someone doing something smarter, your brain just tells you, I think I would rather do this. So I'm glad that at least I taught them new techniques on my first day. New techniques. Because they're not interested in learning. They are just nonchalant to the highest order. And I'm like, how can I be working with a bunch of fully grown men and it feels like I'm working with babies, with women? Like, no. That's not the idea I have. I can't be doing so much. I thought we would work together with the same agility because we're able men, right? And I'm now doing more than you because I don't know how to do less, especially when I exist. It's an insult to me to imagine that I want to do something that I can do today, tomorrow. How ungrateful it is to even think about hearing it. Something I can do today, I want to do it tomorrow. That why? That as today finish, as long as today is here and I'm alive, I will do everything I can do today. Not even if I can do much more. And why is that? Because it doesn't make sense to not. It's like saying you don't want to shit and piss today just because you did that yesterday. It doesn't make sense. Everything today is for today. Tomorrow is for tomorrow. If you are feeling good, it's for today, it's not for tomorrow. Like it's not like it's not going to be accumulative, but it's you're feeling good today presently affects your today more than your tomorrow. Just like okay, it does affect your tomorrow, but if you keep feeling good today, right? If you choose to keep feeling good today, it accumulates and it affects your tomorrow more than you can imagine. That is why I'm actually here to say feel good. But the thing is, if you don't feel good because you have felt good before, it starts erasing the feeling good you have felt in the past. You can't say, "Oh, I felt good the day before yesterday." That should be enough for I, I've invested in my bank of goodness. No, it doesn't work that way. Love is a present state of being. That is my exact point. So I love the fact that I made that experience possible. Apparently, it was an event for a wedding that I could see how much this the event was costly. And the truth is, it was so big and empty. And you won't imagine, I was laughing and dancing and smiling as I was walking. While they were just grumbling and laughing and just standing there. They didn't even understand how we finish working and I'm the only one that is dancing and have not slept. Everybody has been sleeping thereabouts. Everybody was knocked out. Everybody was exhausted. I was the only one that was still dancing and still walking like I just started walking. And I had like blisters all over my hand. I don't even know how this cut came about. It's a very tiny cut. I don't know if you can see it. But because my skin is so sensitive, it feels like a lot. And the reason why my skin is so sensitive because my nervous system is highly insensitive. My nervous system is sensified. You can call it that. And just in a very short period, because I couldn't use the toilet, the work I was doing was more dangerous. They were walking freely and they were nonchalant, lousy, they didn't care. I was working under pressure of not even being able to be free to pee. And I did much more work. That's the crazy thing. I did much more work. And we got paid the same thing, the same 20K. So being in such a position is not something exciting. There's nothing exciting about being with a bunch of people that are nonchalant, lousy, and just don't. I was just wondering, like, how can you think like this? But I was not trying to make them think the way I was thinking. Neither was I demanding of them because I was just there to do the work. So I saw myself quiet, put myself quiet. That's something that I said I would never do to myself, right? Never put myself in a space where I'm not free to talk. That's just one thing I've said. Because if I'm not free to talk, it's better that I'm not there than. So they were just wondering how throughout the whole beginning to the ending, I was just quiet and yet I was smiling. Actually, let me be honest with you. What happened was I was my wife throughout the whole process because I am telepathically connected to her, right? And she was the one feeling for me seriously. Though she kind of took my mind a lot of out of all that with teasing me about the wedding. She was just like, "We have to get wedded like this." I was like, "No, I don't like this." No, she didn't say like this. She just like our wedding should be grand, right? And I was like, well, as long as it makes you happy, but I'm not interested in all this vagueness because I could see how much, you know, aesthetics, all those they spend so much in designing to get the perfect wedding. All for what? For what will people say? That was in short, that the whole point of the work, right, was off because I was working for nonsense. That's one thing that caught me. Like when the guests started arriving, I was just like, "Kai!" I saw empty mannequins, kind of looking things, dressed. That you know what I like calling mannequins because they're just dressed and different, feeling top of the world as if carrying their shoulders up like this. And it's like, ego. I was disgusted. I was disgusted with the appearance of fakeness and the arrogancy of I'm important when it is just to make yourself feel good at the ending. Because I didn't need any of that to feel good. It's not that it was a bad thing. It was just because I didn't need any of that to feel good. That's the way it came out. It made me understand why I can't put myself in spaces like that. because I like to contribute meaningfully. That is one thing about me. So you can thank my wife a lot for getting me to sleep before I come online. Because I just said, what the fuck? I showed my face changed out of the pressure of, because my face cannot remain the same when I'm going through a lot. That's just the truth. It's true. I was going through a lot, literally. Like a lot of lots, right? For me, I can stream for hours. I can talk for hours, but I don't see it any reasonable point why I should, you know, make anyone uncomfortable for that long, because I can't stay for hours watching a video. It's not that, it's just my ADHD. But yes, I can talk for hours with my ADHD. It's crazy, right? I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yes, that was my experience with the work. It was, see, I actually just used this video to talk about my work experience without even, but I think I addressed the topic in the beginning. Anyway, forgive me. Next time, I'll concentrate more on the topic. But yes, I think I'll do spiritual spiritual readings to explain this spirit reading part. But seriously, the experiment was a success in the sense that I learned a lot in one night than I've done in a while. It was the first time of me being out at night, like walking out at night, not being out at night, like hanging out with a group of men. Literally, that's what I would call it. It wasn't a pleasant one because there was nothing comfortable with that. Not being able to use the toilets because I'm conscious of my differentness with them, and then being the trendsetter in the whole process. The journey was just crazy. How I actually taught them how to be. And if I had stayed longer, I would have taught them more. But because I can't inconvenience myself just to teach to for them to gain, it doesn't. It's not a gain if I am losing. That's just the truth. It's never a gain if you are losing. Your gain, you must gain for a connection to be truly love. Both parties must gain. If I was probably free to use the toilet and I was free to be myself, and they were following me, because now that's a different thing. They only followed me because they felt I was a guy. They only listened and obeyed because they felt I was a guy, right? Like them, not just a guy, like them. They could only perceive the world with their own eyes. So they said things they thought a guy like them, right, would be interested in. And it didn't catch my attention. I was just silent. And in the morning, when we were about to leave, a soldier that was one big guy, because he was intimidated by my look, so he tried to insult me and say, "Are you a she man? You look like it." He was wondering how can I be having a big hand like this. First of all, he thought it was down had to be a female somehow in his head. I didn't even know how it makes sense to him to think like that, but I laughed and fell on the floor. See, I was free with myself. The only thing that I was not free to do was pee and take off my clothes. I was free. I did not hold myself back. I danced as I was walking. I laughed openly, laughed falling on the floor. I was not trying not to be myself. I was trying to be myself, but I couldn't be so free when I was pressed with the basics of just trying to get by. So imagine working under that pressure and doing much more work than people that don't have any reason not to do work, right? Because they were chilled, they were relaxed, they were eating how many times? I didn't take any cash on me because I went there to even that's how I was able to get this wonderful haircut. Right. Yeah. That was my experience. And the experience took up the whole topic of today. It just happened that I didn't plan to share this as the topic. I just remembered and I jumped into it.